Hello, everyone. We are back with another conversation on the Playwright Conversation series. And today I have as my guest Mr. Pravin Amre, former Test cricketer and now coach. Welcome, Pravin, and good to see you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, ji.
Namaskar.
So, you give me the liberty to call you Pravin, and please call me Vivek. That will be very nice.
Definitely, you can call me Pravin, and I will call you Vivek ji. That's it.
That you are showing that I am 2 years or something older than you. All right,
Yeah.
I don't mind. Okay, so Praveen, how is everything and how is the cricket season looking out despite the 2020 lockdown? I think cricket has and sports has come back to happening, and we are so lucky to watch live sports nowadays. How does it feel to firstly watch live sports?
Absolutely. I think nothing to compare that watching live cricket, and I'm sure like the players enjoyed more because they are in action. And so I think the other things also like we as coaches also to making them preparation, plus like watching a quality cricket. If we saw it started from Indian cricket, it started with the IPL, and one of the best IPL was we played in Dubai. I think till
Yes,
14 game it was anybody can qualify. So that was one of the great tournament we can say. We also
yes.
say in a commercial thing there was a great eyeball for even the watching the people watched all over the world. I think that was good sign for BCCI and also for IPL. Like how we built that. It took us 13 years, but I think that's become one of the best tournament in the world.
Absolutely right, Praveen. And also the fact that we are getting two installments of IPL within 6 months. Now it has just finished, and within 6 months, or now even 4 months, we may have the next IPL. And you are also involved as a coach. So, how exciting is it to be sitting in the side of the ground and getting the feel and that 3 hours? How do you feel while watching an IPL match as coach?
Well, I think firstly, like after COVID period, I think it was so excited. Like after 4 months, not able to go to the ground. Like not only players. I think as you said, like coach, we are also. It's become like our daily routine to go there at the ground. Even our body and mind also got used to of that, and that you are missing. To be honest, we missed that for 4 months, and we're really excited to be there. And we allowed our body to also get used to of that again the new thing because that break was really long. So we all excited to be there actually like this is all about I think being sometime you don't know when you are playing continuously when you don't play you don't know what you are missing actually.
Absolutely. In fact, today we are here to talk about India's tour to Australia mainly and what happened after IPL. India went there, lost the first two one days, then won the third one, and then won the 2020 series. So, how do you see the Indian team at the moment? Let's just review the white ball cricket which took place, and then we'll move on to the test matches. So, how was the white ball two series?
Well, I think just to review in Australia, I think obviously Australia always a strong opponent, and I think for us also like who have played IPL, the boys were used to of it but not everyone played. I think for them also it was tough that quarantine time was there for them and just going and executing in the tournament. It wasn't easy to start with that one day series. I think the one man took away from us, and I think that's Steve Smith. I think one of the best inning he played back to back, getting 160 odd balls. It's not easy, and I think he done that. And I think that was
Yeah.
tremendous batsmanship. Means even though he's from Australia and his opponent, but I think we should clap the way he batted. I think he showed it was like a masterclass of batting and just took away the game from India because we all know like 300 is a chaseable, and they scored more than 350 both the games. I think that
All
was
the
the
games.
decider. I think we can also say like the advantage they had like both first two matches they won the toss, and I think when the came to chase for them also it wasn't easy. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
say
yeah.
that one advantage they had like they batted first in first two games.
I would like you to also talk about a few standout players in the T20. You see, Natarajan, I mean, he came from the IPL, and see, he was known as Yorker Natarajan initially, and he bowled more than 45 or something Yorkers in the IPL. But here, he did so well with his change of pace, his variation, even length balls. He was getting wickets and he was difficult to score off. So, the contribution of IPL and then a case like Natarajan, what do you say?
Well, I think 2 3 years back only I think Natarajan's name came because he was among the quick also like the Tamil Nadu Premier League, also he was a successful bowler. So everybody was knowing that. But always a question mark is also whether we will do better in a higher level. So we talk about domestic to journey to the IPL, where four international players are there, and maybe the four current Indian players are playing in every side. So I think that bowling standard has to be up to the mark, and I think that uh, test, I think we can just say that like Natarajan passed that test in IPL because he was such a consistent bowler. I think that's the important for any bowler to make a mark. It's not like one odd game. I think it's more important to be that consistent. And I think the area, maybe he has got a mantra from Malinga to the way he bowls. I think that consistency came because first name comes in our mind when it comes, it's like a Malinga, and I think that consistency is shown. It's very good for Indian cricket because that's the area like in a death overs we suffer, and maybe like T20, we won the T20 series. And I think a lot of credit goes to him because this his 4 overs was so critical. I think that changed the like a series result. I can say that even though like there were a brilliant batting by Jadeja and Pandya, but still like this target, and I think that's the best part about also like Hardik mentioned that they were 10 runs short, and I think that shows
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like he was the
yeah.
one who bowled superbly and saved those 10 runs for the team.
That's true. And let us also talk about missing Jadeja and Pandya in the Test series. I mean, of course, Pandya is not playing the Test series coming up, and Jadeja is injured, probably may miss the first Test at least. But what is your view on players who play white ball cricket? As far as possible, should we have the same team for the Test series, whether they are, or it is better to change such players and bring in specialists? It is an era of specialization. आपको क्या लगता है मतलब ये changes अच्छे हैं?
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि हॉर्सेस फॉर कोर्सेस होने चाहिए बिकॉज बट जस्ट स्टार्ट विद आई थिंक व्हाट वी वांटेड टू फिनिश लाइक व्हाट पंड्या एंड जडेजा हैज शोन अस basically like it was a tremendous batsmanship. I think Pandya and Jadeja has done that the era where we used to depend on only on a top orders. I think they are the one who started now like middle order or lower middle order is so critical to get that match winning total. I think who knows like that we can be having that total when we be down 6 wicket down, and after that the partnership of Pandya and Jadeja was critical to win the series. And it's all about like we talk about 120 balls, every ball is event, but same time I think we should have that balanced team. I think Pandya and Jadeja given us that date because power hitter was the issue, always was there. We won because of individual brilliance. Virat used to take on his shoulder and like take the team to the next level. But even though now I think this team, I think that solidity, I think that is the greatest positive we got in this Australia tour. Like
Yeah.
it's not only in the IPL. I think it's important to win an international T20 series. We should have that batting depth, and I think Pandya has given us and Jadeja has given us that depth basically.
And I think also Pravin Virat Kohli, when he played the IPL, you see, great players, as you know, they need to challenge themselves.
Yeah.
And I could see that he was one step higher at when playing for India. And his batsmanship was no less than Steve Smith. Of course, Steve Smith played two brilliant hundreds, but Kohli was hitting the ball well. He made a couple of 80s or 70s. Even in the 2020, he made about 40 something or 26 balls. And he was also looking good, so it augurs well for the Test series. Do you think Virat Kohli is actually at the prime of his career at the moment? And how does it look in the Test match?
Well, I will only say that he's the best yet to come because the way he gather himself, I think that's so critical. I think every single time the pressure is there, and I think he's learned from Sachin maybe like how to handle that level of pressure, and when the expectation are too high, and also when the deliverers they want and they are delivering. I think that was so critical. What likes me is like his consistency, means the way the pressure is there, he does his own thing, the game awareness we can see, the confidence on his eyes. I think that shows like he does his own all homework properly. That's the preparation what he does for that level. And it's not easy for everyone. Like we just discussed about having a specialized team, but he's the one who's a specialized in a red ball and as well as white ball.
Absolutely. He is a world class player like Steve Smith, and although
Yeah.
Steve Smith is equally successful, but technically Virat Kohli, I mean, amazing. But since we are talking of Sachin and Virat, I can't resist asking you, you are a betting expert. What is your favorite shot of Sachin and what is your favorite shot of Virat Kohli?
Well, I think trademarks out. Everybody knows what Sachin was a straight drive. It was like a master class when he took, and it was so soothing to the eyes. That sound and that, like bowler just watching that ball reaching to the boundary line, and I think that we can make out from their bowlers' face that frustration and that effortless batsmanship of Sachin. What I like about Virat is like his wrist work. To be honest, like ability to play that for a one ball, he got a two shots. He can play that balls to the straight also, and as well as he flicks to the mid wicket whenever he wants. I think that was a risky thing. I think that's what typical Indian, like going and then playing with the wrist work and getting that ball out of the park. I think that's smooth. That's a brilliant view we can watch when he is batting about that. Like we need of 10 runs about per over, but he's able to do that. Like he construct his over so well when we are chasing. He knows which bowler to pick and how which ball to pick, whether it was the first or it's the last ball of the over. So his six ball he targets so well, like getting that 1 6 and one boundary. It looks so easy to get 10 runs per over.
I totally agree, and in fact, I totally feel that he is at the prime of his career. But let's talk about the Test series now. So when we are faced with Australia and we are playing more frequently in Australia now, we won the last time we were there. We even beat them in India. So just review the last few years before we talk about this coming series. What is your feeling, India versus Australia, this great rivalry in test matches? How do you see it?
I think Australia will be like a wounded lion, I will say, because that last two series, we are the one who we create a record. Last tour we went there and we won the series. In India also, it wasn't. We are the one who are not allowed them to go and conquer the world. I think we know that we are the one who stopped them way back 15 years back, like Steve Waugh and that team. We are the one who stopped their 14 back-to-back matches win. I think that was a famous Lakshman and Dravid at Calcutta. I think so.
Yes.
That was the history we got. Like we are the one who stopped them all the time, and yes, we definitely know like they are going to come very hard at us, and which is good because this is what we said. Like after COVID, everybody wanted to see the quality cricket, and I think this is going to be see like one of the real battle we are going to do because this is a. I will say that both the team are balanced. That's the best part about the series. Like in recent past, last 2 years, I think Team India's bowling is one of the favorite bowling. I can say like we got a tremendous bowling unit. Yes, we are missing Bhui, but overall we got a lot of backup bowlers also there who can deliver for us. And I think we plan properly when we wanted to discuss about we very smartly Team India management rested Bumrah. I think that was so critical. We never allowed him to play T20 series, and I think that's is going to be help. And we see
Yes.
the difference. Like he scored 50 in his practice game. So I think the more important, like he's fresh, and that is what we want because four tests is not a small series. I think
It's
it's
a
a
lot of
very
matches.
and if we want to win series, I think Bumrah's and even rather I will say the fast bowler's role is going to be very critical.
Very critical. I want to talk about bowling before we come to batting, which is your favorite subject and mine also. But bowling is more important at the moment. So let us talk about the three fast bowlers of Australia: Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins. And vis-a-vis, you see, Bumrah was there last time. Shami was also there. This time we don't have Ishan, but we have Umesh. Umesh played in Perth and did not really do well last time, if you remember. And this time they are going to be, let's say Umesh plays, and let's say Sani plays or somebody else plays. It could be that we play four fast bowlers. So how do you see Australia's pace attack vis-a-vis last time we did, and India's pace attack also?
Well, I think for them also their team management done smartly. Like they are appointed vice captain to Pat Cummins. I think it
Yes,
was just the white ball. Maybe it was the most expensive 15.5 crores he got in the IPL,
yes,
and now he is a vice captain of the team. That means like he got a thinking brain also, which is a good sign for their bowling unit. And we all know the capability of Stark and Hazelwood. They are the most experienced and they know the areas, which areas to bowl in Australian wicket, so they will definitely will make batsman's life tough there. But coming to that, like they are a really professional unit, I can say. Like they are also team management is also given a responsibility. They also know like to beat India is so important role going to be their bowling. I think I personally feel like last series we won. I think their batting wasn't that up to the mark. I'm talking about Australia. I think they
Yeah, they were
bowled well, but
missing
I think,
Smith and
yeah.
Warner were
So
missing.
it was a series where Warner and Smith wasn't there. So we know like Smith is back, and the team is going to be different, but they got a same bowling attack. But how maybe that shows like it's not like it's so important to have a balanced team. It's they had a same bowling unit and we still managed to win. So it is all that's
Mhm.
why they call it on a test like runs are like a gold to have the runs on the board. So I think maybe they were short about those runs. That's why
Yeah.
we won the series, and that's why it's going to be excited because our same batting unit is going to be there who were successful last time.
Yeah. But Pravinji, you see, the spinner Lyon is so successful on Australian pitches, and of course Shane Warne was a great bowler. India may play Jadeja or Ashwin only one, it seems, unless they play one at two at Sydney or Adelaide. Brisbane is the last test match, and we were discussing before the show that Brisbane normally Australia would have kept as a first test match of pacey wicket. So, what is the role of spinners on both sides that you see in this test series?
Well, I think it's going to be like whatever the wicket. I think we know like it's a test cricket. There will be spinners roll after third day. Means if they whatever the green top they make it, but fourth and fifth days are going to for a spinner who can
Spinners.
come because as a fast bowler you may have four fast bowler, but it's not easy to bowl those 90 overs for only with the pace bowlers unless it's a green top. But I will rather say like they will also go with that one quality spinners, and we also to make a balanced team to get that batting there. We first test match is Jadeja is ruled out, so we got only option about Ashwin, and I think we should also back that spinner because ultimately, like second inning, sometime becomes very critical, and that's what we just not can't think about only that first inning. To win the test match, you have to win the second inning also.
Yeah. Absolutely correct. And I totally agree. If we play four fast bowlers, the fourth
Hmm.
fast bowler, it's not West Indies. So we cannot hope that, even the fourth fast bowler will take 10 wickets. No. It has to be, I agree, one spinner at least has to be there. And Australia does that. So we should follow them. They play Lion in every match. We should also play one spinner in every match. There's no doubt about it.
And
I
Vivek,
would
what
also
happens, sometimes like you go with a four fast bowler, one bowler has to otherwise under bowl. So that's not the case. Like three bowlers, then equally they can share their spells also. Sometimes like that fourth bowler doesn't get bowling also then. So it's no, it's some it unless like that wicket is fully green top. Then
I
then it's but
agree.
Adelaide I doubt that we will get a fully green top. That's a usually Adelaide is a good batting wicket. You saw that that's a good scores. We can see the batsman getting 100 and double hundred on that particular wicket. So it looks like a good start for a series playing starting from Adelaide because four matches are different venues like Melbourne and Sydney will be obviously decided. But I think they also smart properly smart their itinerary. I will say keeping that last match at Waka at Perth.
Brisbane. The point is, Praveen, that the teams are balanced. The test is looking good. Let's take three questions that we have already. We will come back to our discussions after this. So, Chitranjan Agarwal, who's co-founder of Playwright, is asking that you said horses for courses. So, should we pick 11 horses for each course? Adelaide, MCG, and SCG. So, I think when you look at the test side, it seems that Kohli is only playing one match. Rohit is coming in the third match. And it seems that after one match, Ajinkya will become the captain. So, what do you look at in the captaincy with Virat in the first match and let's say Ajinkya? Do you think Ajinkya will find any difficulty or do you think he will fit into the mold like he was earlier when Virat got injured?
Well, I will say that Virat should go with the winning first test match, so his job will be easy. But coming to that, I think what I can see that for Ajinkya, it's not the first time he's leading in absence of Virat. If we remember in a home series also, we lost at Rajkot, and after that, Ajinkya took over the captaincy, and we won and Bangalore and Dharamshala, and we won the
Dharamshala.
series. We won down from there. We won 2-1, and I think that's what I think he can. This can give Ajinkya as a confidence because in Australia is a different story. But I think as a captain and as a person, you can be a confident like you can do this job in Australia also, which is very important because if he was doing first time because nobody was is there like it is going to be a very important. Virat is like a missing Virat is going to be very, very difficult for Team India, because not only just as a captain, I say that he's the one run machine also. It's not like we are going to miss him as a captain, but
Yeah, yeah,
the
run machine.
most important, like he's the one who's scoring runs for a Team India. I think that's we are going to miss him as a batsman as well, not only
Batsman.
just a
Yeah, yeah,
captain.
yeah.
So I think that's where entire equation will be changed, and that's why my sentence was there, horses for courses, because that's where we are going to, because it's a challenging first match. We are not there, Rohit is not there, Jadeja is not there, and then the challenge will be different where Virat won't be there. So
Virat
this
won't be
series
there.
is going to be
It's going to
totally
be tough.
challenging series, I can say, because it's not just we are going for a test series where we pick the 16 and the 16 are going to be play same
No, yeah,
16 was
yeah.
going to be there. This is 18 members of the team we are going there, and we are going to pick the best 11 in that.
I agree with you. And in fact, Sanjay Dhul and Nagesh Gupta, they are both former cricketers, and Nagesh is a coach. They are asking the valid question that should we play five bowlers or four bowlers? So in Australian pitches, as I see it, Hanuma Vihari coming in at number six and also bowls a bit of off spin. Perhaps they will go with that safe formula, and Saha or Pant coming in as wicketkeeper batsman and four bowlers. But do you think they can afford to play five bowlers? Can, of course, it would be great if they can, but can they?
Well, I think Bihari made his, I think the mark, like he scored 100 also. And going for a first test match where, the runs are important, and we are talking about coming back from that, white ball to red ball. So I will personally feel like that we can go with the six batting plus a wicket keeper. So we can go with the four bowlers and Vihari can bowl. So
Yeah.
Vihari also, that nagging knack he got, that he gives us a breakthrough also. So maybe we can consider that, and he can. I personally feel he can bowl 4-5 over spell without giving
Hmm.
runs if we can't get a wicket. So it can be a recovery for our four bowlers also, because that is
I
going to be
think
critical to get a
you're
recovery
right.
or
You're
get.
right. So, yeah, you're right. I think the openers are also the key. So, let us discuss the opening slot. Now, Mayank Agarwal seems to have cemented his place. In fact, he came in as a replacement in the last series and he scored so well. And Mayank seems to be the preferred opener. Now, in the third test match, Rohit will be back, hopefully available for the third and fourth test match, and he's an opener. So, it looks like Mayank and Rohit will open. But in the first two test matches, we have a toss up between Shaw and Gill. So, what does it look like to you?
Well, definitely we are going to miss Rohit, no question about it, because team like Australia, where he's the one who plays very positive, like he's the one who doesn't miss us a boundary ball, and that's very important in playing in Australia. So, but I look other way also, like it's also the young Prithvi and young Shubman, whoever will play. It's an opportunity for them also, because ultimate we talk about Test cricket is a real cricket, and these guys are done so well in a white ball and recent past. So even Prithvi got an experience of getting 100 in a test. It's important, like you are judged how you perform in Australia. So this is we to take like it's a positive for them, or this is an opportunity for them, because if we see that series we won, every single time when we get a 50 runs opening stand, our scoreboard is different. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
what we are talking is very important point. It is so important in Australia to get that openers who are in the form. I think that's very important. The name is not important for us. It's who is in the form who can give us a 50-run start. I think that's
That's
going to be
important.
matter. Hmm.
In fact, also KL Rahul, another, you see, we have a good batting strength, no doubt. Now, KL Rahul, in my view, might come in place when Virat Kohli leaves at one down, sorry, two down, because Pujara is one down. But there is another factor that maybe both Shaw and Gill will play. That also can happen. And when Rohit comes, then one of them also play along with him. So we have choices. But KL Rahul as a test batsman, let's talk about, he was dropped at one time. Shikhar Dhawan was also dropped at that time. But now, do you think KL Rahul can make a comeback as a stable test batsman?
Well, what I see is like a whole 1 year. He after the captaincy in IPL, he become a more responsible batsman, and we can make out like it's not easy to score maximum runs in IPL. He's the orange cap winner, that because he scored the runs for the team, and that's very
Yeah,
important. Now he knows how to score runs, and I think he also must be waiting for his opportunity. Like he started his cricket as a 4-day cricketer, he developed his game for a shorter version. So I think I saw like him playing for a Karnataka, like whatever their back-to-back Ranji Trophy they won. His 1,000 runs was so critical. So he knows how to play red ball also, and I'm sure like he's looking forward for that opportunity, because as you said, like he lost his place, and that is the positive. Like he will be hungry for his place to go there and perform. And what a better option to, like, Virat is not there and the team needs him, and he's going and delivering for the team.
Praveen, I think this is a very interesting series. We have so many things to discuss. One thing that I would also like to put you in the spot, Saha or Pant. You see, Pant has also scored a century. Saha has also scored a 50, I think, in the first match. And Saha is probably a better keeper, has also batted well in the IPL when he was not injured. So, who would be your first preference between the two?
Well, I think that's not easy question. Basically, like how our top six batsman form is going to be also very important, because see, Saha is like he's a contributor. I have seen him like very important innings he played for, and a really hard work. But Rishabh is like a natural player. We know like he's also got a 200s in a test so far,
Yeah,
and it's a
yeah.
good sign to get him like 100 in this practice game, which is like a important for him to getting 100, and I think making his claim. But again, like it's a long series, 4 series. I think it's going to, everybody will get their opportunity. But to start with, I think I personally feel the team management will back Saha simply because of his experience. I think that can be also important when you wanted to start well in a series. You can't take a chance. Like sometimes you are, that situation come, we can see in a third or fourth when because our batting will be different when Rohit will come. I think till then I think we will be looking. We have to also play our card very smartly.
I agree with you. When Rohit comes, then Rohit and Virat are our two prime batsmen, no doubt. And Rohit has already made a mark in Test cricket. I want to ask you about playing in Australia. You have played the World Cup in Australia. You have been to Australia. Now the point is that the Australian grounds, the field placing. Sometimes Indian captains get it wrong. They let the match meander. Somebody scoring 550 runs against us also. So the double century partnerships at times. So what is the captain got to do with that? I mean, should he make some changes? Should he have somebody at the third man boundary when normally they leave it empty? Should he have somebody at the cow corner boundary at times when they are going very well? So what kind of captaincy do you see when a long partnership is on?
Well, yeah, yeah. As you said, like once we are on a top, it should be a different attacking fielding. But I think we can do in Australia is like an in-out field where you are not totally safe. There are going to be one or two proper catching fielder who will put a pressure, and same time where there will be a protection on a boundaries. So I think the main idea will be when the partnership are going, we have to drive the boundaries, because that kills you, and that game take they got that capable of batsmen. Like once they get that, they just take away. That one session becomes so critical in that 5 days, like that game just goes away from there. That one big partnership, like you mentioned, 200-run partnership, just that game take away, and then their bowler get that runs on board. When then they come at you that hard, like bowling that hard lane to get difficult without cut and pull, you can't score there then. So that's the line they will come and bowl us basically. So for us it's so important, like rightly we mentioned, like field placing, and I think every run saved is going to matter also.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm enjoying this discussion because we are discussing some very technical things. And I also want to ask you, why does India find it difficult to go beyond 6 wickets? They have got the first 6 wickets, and then Payne and Cummins and Lyon and Stark, they will score a lot of runs. So the bowlers tire out. Second new ball maybe already not effective. So what can India do to ensure that these people do not really get stuck in the crease?
Even sometimes Team Payne also plays a crucial knock, like coming down in the
Yeah,
batting, scored busy
yeah,
50 odd runs. Well, I think for that again, it like sometimes it's our crucial bowler or a main bowler spend a lot of energy in taking top order, and I think that's again, like I said, like giving a break also so important. It's like keeping our bowlers fresh. I think that's going to matter. Like at least two bowlers are fresh at the for that third session, because that's the area where we leak the runs, maybe because it's not easy to bowl those last session. You need your fit body and a fit mind.
I agree. In fact, that means that Vihari and even Mayank bowled a little bit in the series may have to roll around their arms a little more and try and stop the runs, be a little restrictive so that the bowlers can be fresh. But also, I want to ask you a technical batting question. Indians have started playing the short ball much better than before. And in Australia, the short ball is obviously more useful. The ball bounces fast and high. And I find that many of them are pulling the ball very easily. But in Test cricket, that pull or hook becomes dangerous and risky at times. So leaving the ball becomes equally important. Like Sunil Gavaskar used to be the great batsman in leaving the ball. So what is your view on Indian batsmen against the short pitch ball in Australia?
Well, I think we have to go with a positive mindset. That's the bottom line, because we just can't go what we used to do in 1980s. Basically, we have done well. I think in 2000, if we remember Virat, and that shown that like that how to play aggressive, and it's a mixture or was that I remember the Adelaide, the Ajinkya and Virat getting 100. And I think that was a masterclass, how to play in Australia. I think that's the answer for you, how to play there. It's not like you can't go with a one mindset, like I'm going to attacking or I'm going to defensive. It's very important to be selective, and I think playing by the ball's merit, it's going to very critical in that. There will be some spells where they will dominate. I think that's what we have to see of that moment. We can't just say that I want to go and be aggressive that moment. Sometimes that taking that back foot and leaving the ball will be the better option. Maybe that one spell we have to see off, and then we can look like that the third seamer or one we can target that bowler. I think playing smart will be the critical. I think we can't just right now sitting here and that can be a plan. I think it will be more practical on that day, maybe that session, maybe that 1 hour is going to be important.
Absolutely, and you have played on a very bouncy pitch in Durban, and you got a century in your debut match where these bouncy balls were coming at you at rocket pace. So that concentration becomes so important, and over 100 runs, or let's say you are playing 250 balls, you are facing, let's say, in scoring 130 runs. This was the normal pace in which batsmen used to play. Today they score much faster. So how do you keep your concentration high when the ball has suddenly you faced a bouncer, you are beaten, and getting back to that next ball? Such an important part of batting, isn't it?
Yeah, very critical. I think for that level, and especially in a test cricket, concentration does matter. I think because that's the mind. Like that mind allows you stay in present. That mind only wonders we goes in a past or a future basically. But I think your intellect hold in the present, and that's what batsmanship is all about. I think staying in the present, while soaking that pressure. The scoreboard may be 100 for one or maybe 100 for five. I think as a batsman you have to be focused for that every single ball. I think that's going to matter, and you enjoy that challenge as a batsman. I will say that you can't just plan, because sometimes difficult situation make you more stronger also. So we know, like in the cricket, there are more bad days than a good days. So you have to be, as a batsman mind, you have to prepare for those bad days more than a good days. And when the good
I
days are
agree.
coming, you should make sure they count for you.
You are such a good batting coach, and I know. And I also feel that our middle order, Virat and Rahane, and of course Pujara and Vihari also, they have that temperament. And even Saha, if he comes in, I think all these players as a batsman, they have that temperament of Test cricket. Now, Mayank also has that temperament, but sometimes because maybe it is the young nature of the player, or maybe it is something else. And Prithvi Shaw also maybe a little impetuous at times. So, what is it that they need to do to become more test player like than just being the hard strikers of the ball?
Well, I think you said the word temperament. I think that's what it come with the experience. I will say that, because whatever the names you took, who got a good temperament, they played enough cricket. And I think what good about Mayank, I can say, like in a home series at least, he had shown like that temperament of converting 100 in a big 100. And I think
Yeah,
that's a good sign he has in him basically. Yes, sometimes we cannot stop their natural player, and we have also have to understand like Prithvi and Rishabh are that type of a player, that they will be playing high risk shot, but on their day they can be a match winner. So that's a thin line goes with that. We want a consistency, or we want to great. We have to take that chance where they will give us a brilliant start. They are the capable. They can give us 100 runs on the board in a one session. But then again, like we will prefer to start with the consistency, because we are playing in Australia, and this is a better side. And I think for that, I think we should. I'm not saying safe, but I think we are playing positive. Same time, we have to be calculative also.
I totally agree with you. And now let us talk about the pink ball cricket a little bit, because earlier we used to talk more about Kookaburra in Australia, but now we also have to worry about the pink ball. And everybody, even Australian batsmen, have to worry about it. I have heard two things about it, and you will please bear me out if I'm right. I have heard that the pink ball becomes softer and easier to bat after a few overs are gone, 20, 30 overs are bowled with it. And secondly, you were saying before this, and I want to know a little bit more, that when the light is dipping and the artificial lights come on, that is the most difficult time to bat. Is that so?
Yeah, definitely. Means I did discuss with a couple of batsmen who played the Test series in India also. We remember we played in Calcutta also.
Yeah.
So I think that's the, like we always say, like traditional Test ball cricket is the first session is so important, and also the last session. But in this, it's the middle session becomes critical, because that can be a game changer. Maybe there that the moment you can lose 2 3 back to back wicket, and I think that's going to be a dangerous. And I think that's where we have to be careful as a batting unit, because we know like one session going away, I think that can cost us a match and maybe the series. So I think we can think on those. It's not like a playing negative. I just, again, I said like those are the cautious movement in the series. And I think this is also, as you said, like it become a soft, that means the spinner role is not that going to be great. And I think we have to wait for that. Maybe like that spell is going down, we have to just see off that spell or play that smart cricket. Maybe 10 overs you don't score, but not giving wicket can be a better option, rather than going after the bowling and losing 2 3 back to back wickets.
Yes, and Praveen, also before the series, normally Australians make a lot of noise and challenge India. Like somebody like Glenn McGrath, former Test player, will say something, or Chappell brothers will say something. Steve Smith, even a current Test player, might say, Indians are on the downslide or something, just to build up the pressure. But now I find that the Australians have become a little softer than before. Perhaps it's because they play IPL. That kind of edge which used to be there, and that fear which used to be there for the Indians while going there, is not there anymore. So, do you think
No,
it has that excitement has reduced because of this?
no, I think the Australian tested the. I think that Virat effect. I can see that, like how he last series he gave back to them, and maybe they are come to that conclusion. It's better to keep quiet and make play. Let him play their game and let them play a good cricket to win the series.
It seems so, like that it seems. But personally speaking, you have coached such top Indian batsmen, and you have coached Ajinkya Rahane, and before that, Suresh Raina, and also Robin Uthappa, and also I believe you have mentored Shreyas Iyer and other players. So, how do you see these two players? Let's talk about Rahane and Iyer over the years. I mean, and now what stage of their career are they at?
Well, I think it really fascinating to see that Ajinkya also made his career, like last 5 6 years he's playing international cricket, and not only just playing, like he is like one of the backbone of Indian batting when it comes to playing abroad. I will say like that, Virat and Pujara. I think the third name is always Ajinkya, who can you can trust that he can. Yes, there are many ups and downs in his career. It's like a straight journey for him. But what I like as a person about him is like he was ready to bounce back. And I think that's what it's a matter, like your intention and your hard working sometime and your commitment to the game, it takes you where you are right now. And I think that's what Ajinkya is there. It's not easy to be vice captain of this team India. This is
Yeah,
one of the
yeah, and
best
going to
team.
be captain for three
And
matches.
yes, so that means like entire team management, and more than that, player trust you. And I think that's very important. I think that's what I Ajinkya, for me, I think it's not easy. I think it's hard work for over the years. Maybe that is the reason that team management and the players and even the selectors believes that he can deliver for a team India. And I think that's a good opportunity for him. It's like going to be not easy, like when Virat is not playing. Even a batting also, so many time it happened. Pujara and Virat getting out. I think it's so many time we saw like Ajinkya was there to bail us out, like playing that important station, not losing that wicket. And I think that is what he has done for over and over. And again, we are expected him to do that. And I think I'm sure like the amount of preparation he does, and I think that's what I think the focus, one of the focus player we can say. And more than that, he's a
Yeah,
good human being and a down to earth. So that those are also the qualities are there for him to go and back for there. And we need that type of players also, especially in a test cricket right now. It's not like that he can't bat in a white ball cricket, but now he doesn't have that opportunity in a white ball. So it's more important him to whatever the opportunity he have and enjoy, because that saying is that there, play the game. It's so important to play game at that highest level. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's very important to see that he's doing for a team India well, and take, giving his best and also contributing in team India's success.
And quickly about Iyer, how do you see Shreyas Iyer?
Well, I think he's a different type of a player, a confident guy who loves to play his natural game. What I can say about him is like he's the one who scored. We all talk about his a caliber of playing a white ball. And recent past like 2 years, the question mark was there for who is number four. I think he solved that number four, which
Yeah,
is
he
also
saw that.
good sign. And to me also, I personally feel he got that capacity to play. He's like a Sehwag type of a players who goes and play with a 100-run strike rate. If you see his first class also, he always had that 100-run strike rate, even though he's playing a red ball. And it's not easy. Like what I wanted to say that like Mumbai cricket is always a traditional cricket and people or stalwart played. But in a history of Mumbai cricket, he was the one who scored 1,300 runs in a season. And I think
Wow.
I think he was the next to Lakshman. I believe Lakshman scored 400. That was the highest run scored
Hmm.
in a longer version of the game. So he got that capacity also. But we know like he has to wait for his test cap. But I think he has to improve his game also, because the test cricket is also a different thing. But he got that ability. Basically, that's very
Yeah,
important. That's I think that's critical to be there. And as I said, like he's a confident boy. When you are a confident, you can perform better, isn't it?
absolutely right. And since we touched upon Pujara and we haven't talked enough about him, in the last series, Pujara really put his head down. And the first time we heard of Pujara was when he was scoring triple centuries for his state. That time I heard, who is this Cheteshwar Pujara? And then let me tell you, you have played in our JP Atray tournament and come many times. Pujara played in our tournament and he was selected for the Indian team while playing a match in our tournament. The announcement came, Pujara selected for test team and the entire media came. So I have seen him grow since then. But today, he is like a batsman from the old school. He puts his head down, and like Rahul Dravid, he can be depended upon to really grind out the attack. So let's talk about his success and what he needs to do in this series.
Well, I think this he backs his own strength, and as you said, old school. Its strength was concentration, temperament, and staying at the wicket and waiting for that game to like waiting for that loose ball. And more important, like knowing his game. I think that's the beauty of Pujara, because I was also fortunate. Like he was in early days 2010, he was a part of with me for India in England tour also, where he was a captain, and I saw him very closely. I think he's again a very very committed and a focused boy who is like a straightforward. He got a disciplined life, and I think that's matter, because it's he's the example like how you are at the cricket ground, and same he's after the game also he's the same. It's focus, and that discipline carries. You can't be the different personalities. I believe, and Pujara is that example. Like he lives his simple life, and I think that's so critical. Like sometimes that simple thinking and simple living gives you the great result, and I think that's what Pujara is all about. Like who can't forget like the contribution what he did in the last series, and what is the
Absolutely.
expectation from him is like, especially without not playing for next three games. I think role of Pujara becomes so big for our batting unit.
I totally agree. We have talked about everything. One last point only we'll take about fielding because we have done batting, we have talked captaincy, we have talked wicket keeping, we have talked about bowling, we have talked about conditions and lights and everything. So catches win matches, and whoever drops less catches will win the series. Sometimes you find so many catches being dropped, like in Sydney during the one day, I believe, or 2020 also. So I think India will have to look after that aspect also.
I don't mind dropping tail-enders catches, but you can't drop Warner and Smith. I think that can be very critical. Maybe like that. I personally feel like yes, not only catching. I can say like there are opportunity will be runouts and we should not miss. Maybe the stumping. So those are the rules going to be there when we talk about fielding. It comes entire package. I think that's where entire fielders are alert for 540 balls, and I think that's going to be matter basically in Test match if we want to win this series.
I think I have enjoyed talking to you. So much cricket we discussed, so many aspects, and I'm so glad that we both think the same way. I don't think we disagreed on anything, so we are on the right track. Hopefully, Ravi Shastri and the team will also think like this. And maybe after the series is over, Praveen, we'll have a review and discuss what we discussed now and then. Whether let's see our predictions and our analysis come right. So, thank you very much.
Sure, and also like you and me are like a real Team India supporter, so we want Team India to come in a flying colors also.
Yes, Praveen, thank you very much for joining us for
Thank
Play
you.
Right Conversation. This is your second time here, and this time we discuss the Australian tour. Next time, again, we'll meet with you sometime. Good wishes
Sure.
to you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.